Who doesn't like alcohol? I love drinking alcohol. I love finding a holiday to, justify that drinking. But when it comes to retail and stores that sell alcohol items, tobacco items, where people have to check ID, it can get very hectic. How do I know this? Well, I work at a store that sells alcohol. And you wouldn't believe what people would do to try to buy their alcohol. First off, in those stores, it is the biggest policy that we check ID every single time. We don't care if you look old, you're a grandfather and all this. I won't sell you the alcohol unless you show me a valid ID. That means it can't be expired, has your birthday, and of course, you have to be over 21. Most of the time, it goes by fine. I ask them, hey, may I see your ID for the alcohol they're buying? And, they get it out, and it takes less than 10 seconds. 5 seconds if they're older than 40, which is what they want us to be checking. If they're over 40, there's a button I press. If it's not, there's another button I press, and then I enter in the birthday. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Of course, if you're buying really big quantities, we ask that the customer sign for a liquor log. It's really nothing. It's just you literally put in your signature on the card reader, and then I can scan them. The prompt that pops up, I can't just let it go away. I don't care if you're older and 65. I don't care if you just turned 21. I still need to see the ID in order to proceed. Most of the time, like I said, it goes by pretty well. Then you got some customers, I can't believe you're checking me for ID. I'm like, yes, ma'am, it's policy. I may joke around at work a lot, but that is the one of a handful of policies that I will follow through every time, because I'm not going to get in trouble. And if they catch me on cameras, or if it's one of those secret shoppers, which, it is what it is, then I will get fired. I am partially responsible because I am selling you the alcohol. The store is responsible because they have the product for sale, and it creates a lot of problems if I don't check. But today I got 3 stories to tell you about people buying alcohol and, the foolishness that, every day-to-day people probably have to deal with. This first one, I was in self-checkout. And usually when people scan alcohol and they're about to pay, it'll pop up and say, hey, associate needs to check your ID. And I go over there, scan my barcode, and I ask for an ID. Now, the customer said, oh, I got my expired ID. Will that work? And in my head, I'm like, no, fool. How would it work? The law says you have to have a valid ID that's not expired. If it's expired, then it's not valid. But he's still asking me anyway. I'm like, no, sir. It has to be not expired and has to have your birthday. I asked him, oh, do you have another form of ID? Like a passport, maybe an international ID. We set those if it's a valid ID and has your birthday. He's like, no. I'm like, unfortunately, you won't be able to buy it. So I took the alcohol, I put it where we have our returns, and we have a couple of baskets that we put returns in. So when we do returns, it'll be more easy. And so it goes by his transaction. He pays for what he has. And then as he's leaving, he tells me that, I'm old enough to be your grandfather. And yeah, he did look old. But I'm like, okay, that doesn't take away the fact that you don't have a valid ID. So if you don't have a valid ID, how am I going to sell you the alcohol? It makes no sense. And then the second one, it was near closing time. And when it's near closing time, I try to get people out fast and quick because I ain't trying to prolong this day. I try to go home, do my job, clock in, do my job, and go home. And no one wants to be at work later than they should be. And usually there's always a line because people come in the last minute Oh, I need one item. I need one item. Yeah, and you end up having a full cart. Like, there's multiple ways. If you could have gone here earlier, if you have something to take care of, we offer delivery. Um, there's a minimum, but we offer delivery through a third party. I'm like, there's no excuse of coming in like 2 minutes before closing and, having a full cart. No. And the prompt came up. It was like, can I see your ID? And she had her ID on her, but it was expired. It was expired in 2025. And I told her, unfortunately, I can't sell you this because your ID is expired. Now, she was there with her mom. I'm like, does your mom have her ID on her? She's like, oh, it's in the car. I was like, you could go get it real quick. And I'm like, I have a line, but I'm like, whatever, right? Nothing you can do about it. Because then they're going to be mad that they can't buy it. And the other employees, I'm pretty sure they're going to be mad because they have more stuff to put back. They don't want to do, no one wants to do work. But, you gotta get work, you gotta do work to get paid. And so while we were waiting for her mom to get her ID from the car, she's like, oh, can you just work on the next customer? I don't want to hold up a line. And, you have to explain to them like they're 5 years old. Like, I'm sorry, ma'am, I can't do that unless I see a valid ID. She kept kind of assisting. Oh, just get the next customer. Like, the prompt won't, like, yeah, I can technically get the prompt to go away, but I'm not gonna. First of all, you're wasting my time with an expired ID, and now I gotta wait on your mom to go to the car. It makes no sense. Like, if they were nice, no, not even that. Even if they were nice, usually I let things slide. But again, it's that policy. I just cannot allow people to slide. And I'm telling them, when customers think they know something more than an employee who's been working there, who knows policies, who sees this like every day, we can't just let it slide. And she was getting a little more upset every time I kept telling her the same thing. I was like, oh, I understand. I'm like, clearly you don't, because I told you multiple times, you just gotta have to wait for your mom to come back. That's it. And mom comes back, we proceed with the transaction. But I'm like, why are you making a big fuss out of nothing? First of all, you decided not to have a valid ID on you. You decided to shop near closing time. I'm like, I'm just want to go home. And this last one is one of the most common situations I get in these scenarios where, they are surprised that they're asking for ID. They're like, oh, I must be so young. And no, you're not. I just have to ask every time. You're not going to buy it without showing me ID. And then there's this older guy, and he comes in, he buys alcohol, and I always ask, can I see your ID for the alcohol? And, he's real hesitant at first. I'm like, I have your ID. And he's like, why you gotta check my ID for the alcohol? I said, and he's like, can you see? I'm like, I was confused at first because, no duh, I could see, but like in the context of this conversation, he meant, can I see that he looks over 21? I'm like, what do you mean, sir? Because you gotta play dumb, because customers, they like to tell you something and then not explain it. So I have no context of what he's talking about. And he's like, look at me, man, I'm old. I'm like, yeah, I still need to see your ID. He's like, oh, this is ridiculous. You gotta check IDs for everyone? And I'm like, yes, I have to check IDs. It's policy. He's grumbling. Mind you, this conversation is like going over a minute since I asked the question, may I see your ID for the alcohol? And, I was about to say, like, do you want the alcohol? Because if we don't want it, and I could just take it back. You don't have to buy it. All right, and he finally shows me his ID. But I'm like, why do people get upset over small things? Like, if you are buying a age-restricted item, you're going to have to prove you're over the age limit. It's not going to just go away just because you're old. Like, if you leave it in your car, that's on you. You gotta go get it. I'll suspend it, but you still gotta go get it. But anyways, that's the end of my rant. I'll see you.